What's up, everybody? Andrew from Fantasy 80 here to give you my top 15 second baseman rankings for the 2017 season. Now, when I stepped back and looked at the whole of second base, I was like, whoa. There's so much talent. You know, you hear about shortstop all the time. Oh man, shortstop's so good. Oh, so much young talent. Second base arguably rivals shortstop in depth and good players. I mean, it's just amazing what I was looking at when I was going through the lists. So, obviously, number one isn't a surprise, and that's Jose Altuve, who had a sort of breakout season last year, at least in terms of power. He put together his best season, hitting over 20 home runs and getting to the 30 stolen base mark. He had a .531 slugging this year, which he hit 42 doubles with his 24 home runs. And he was consistent all year. It wasn't like one half. He batted .341 in the first half and .333 in the second half. Not much more to say about him. Second is Trea Turner, who was nothing short of incredible in the short 73 games he played. 13 home runs, 33 stolen bases. If you put those stats over a full season, he would have been a 25-60 guy, and that's just boggling to think about. Of course, that's not how it works. Turner, I think, will be good in the power and stolen base department, but not that good. You could see 50 to 20 homers and 50 stolen bases with an average of 300, which would put him at number 2 on the spot. Number 3, we've got Dozier, who hit a ton of home runs last year and really beat his career high in batting average, which really helped his OPS. The steals was nice too. He swiped 21 bags in 2014, but only 12 in 2015. He managed to get up to 18 last year, and he had 28 home runs while batting .291 in the second half. Now, no one questions Dozier's power, but the real question is, can he consistently hit over .250? And that's what we're going to see this year. Number 4, we got Cano, who had a 2016 season reminiscent of his old Yankee days. He had a career high in homers at 39 compared to his previous high of 32 in 2012. He also managed to score a career high in runs at 107. You know, the Mariners now got Segura, which will really help their leadoff. So he should continue to produce elite homers, though I don't think he'll reach the 39 home run mark again, but he doesn't need to be number 4 on this list. At number 5, we got Rougned Odor, who managed to live up to all that 2016 preseason hype. I know I was hyped for him, and he did exactly that. Now, the stolen bases were a little bit less than I thought he would do, but it was a really decent season overall. You're not going to complain with 33 home runs and 14 stolen bases. Of course, the only drawback to Odor is that he never walks. He walked 19 times in 605 at-bats, which kind of limits him when you're talking about OBP leagues. The stolen bases, as I mentioned, I'm hoping to see more this year. His career high in the minors was 32. It's just he's got to be smarter on the base path. He only stole 14 of 21 attempts last year, which is a 66% steal rate, and he'll definitely have to get that up in 2017. At number 6, we got Daniel Murphy, another huge breakout. It's kind of the theme on this list. Second baseman's having career years. He hit .347 with a career high 25 home runs, career high 47 doubles, and career high 104 RBIs. His previous high in homers was 14, and his previous high in RBIs was 78. And obviously the move to the Nats have definitely helped him out. He's always been a contact hitter who hit a lot of doubles, but he took that to the next level in 2016. He is, you're going to have a full season of Trea Turner hitting in front of him. It should definitely help. I don't think he gets back to 20 home runs again. I think 15 homers, 290, 300 batting average with a good amount of runs and RBIs in that lineup. At number 7, we got Matt Carpenter, who proved his power 2015 season wasn't a fluke as he hit 21 homers in 129 games with the Birds. Obviously, it looks like he's losing the leadoff spot with the Dexter Fowler signing. Carpenter should slot right into that 3rd spot. It will definitely increase his RBI chances, and I think it might help his power too, because obviously you have a different mindset in the 3rd spot than leading off. One thing to note, Carp did struggle in the second half, batting .229 and 188 at-bats, but I think that was reminiscent of most Cardinals in the second half, so maybe the team kind of dragged him down there, but definitely a good second baseman to have. At number 8, we have Jason Kipnis of the American League Championship Cleveland Indians. He was able to cross the 20 homer mark for the first time. and he was able to get 15 stolen bases. So he was a 15-20 guy last year, and he improved in net stolen bases too. He stole 12 bags in 20 attempts in 2015, where he got 15 bags in 18 attempts last year. And obviously the big signing of E5 to the Indians strengthens what's already a very decent lineup with Carlos Santana and company, Francisco Lindor. So if Kipnis can maintain this kind of power, he could definitely put him up there with the elite second basemen in the next few years. At number 9, we have DJ LeMahieu, another guy who had a sort of breakout season. He managed to beat his career high in average by 47 points. His further career average was 301 back a few years ago, and he was able to crack 20 double-digit home runs for the first time in his career. Now, his stolen base total did fall from 23 and 15 to 11 and 16, but regardless, obviously he's playing in Colorado. He's surrounded by a huge lineup. He's going to give you a great average with plenty of runs, and hopefully the stolen bases kind of bounce back this year too. Then number 10, we had Eamon Kinsler, who, surprise, surprise, had a breakout season after a couple of, good seasons. He managed to hit 28 home runs, which was his first time hitting over 20 home runs since 2011. He also has never stolen less than 10 stolen bases every year since he came up in 2006. Now, obviously, it's not all good news for Kinsler. He did strike out more than 100 times for the first time in his career, but I guess that's more nitpicking than anything. Kinsler's going to be 35 this season, and it'll be interesting if he can maintain those homers. At number 11, we had Dustin Pedroia, who had another fine season with the Red Sox, batted over 300 for the first time since 2013, and hit 15 homers for the first time since 2012. Obviously, Boston has one of the best lineups in the AL this year, so Pedroia is a lock for 100 to 110 runs if he stays healthy. And he was also able to walk a ton last season, walking 61 times to only 73 strikeouts. At number 12, we have Jean Segura, who was a huge breakout player last year, stunned the fantasy world by becoming a 2020 player, and he was traded to the Mariners in the Walker deal this offseason. Now, the reason I don't have Segura is not higher on the list is because I don't think the power is for real. Obviously, there's no disputing the speed is real, but Segura does need to hit over 300 because he doesn't take a lot of walks, so that high average is needed to get on base. If he has another good season like this, he'll definitely crack the top 10 list in 2018. Number 13, we have Ben Zobrist, the Cubs second baseman, and he had a pretty solid Zobrist season with the Cubs. He hit the most home runs since he hit 20 with Tampa Bay in 2012. And the amazing stat is he walked 96 times to only 82 strikeouts, which is amazing. If he was guaranteed to be on the top of that Cubs lineup all year, he would probably be higher on this list. But, Madden loves to play around with his lineups, keep it flexible. So just a situation to monitor where he plans on having Zobrist. Number 14, we have Devon Travis, who proved that 2015 was not a fluke. A lot of people were concerned last offseason with his shoulder injury, that he wouldn't show the power, that he wouldn't, have the season that he did. And those runs are a mistake. I think he scored something like 42. You can double check me on that, but he didn't score that many because he only played in 101 games. But he did hit 11 homers in 101 games, so he does have good power. He still hit for a good average. And obviously E5 is gone, but Toronto still has a decent lineup and a good ballpark. So Travis is a good choice if you waited a little bit at second base. I've noticed he goes around the 15th round. Feel free to look up the runs if you want, because I was just thinking of a number off the top of my head. It's somewhere around that mark, so I apologize for that. And then number 15, we have Dee Gordon, who of course served that 80-game suspension last year, but managed to steal 30 bases in 79 games. But obviously he doesn't provide any power or RBIs for your team. He had that huge breakout in 2015 where he had 333 with 58 stolen bases, and people thought he was Billy Hamilton that could hit, but his average was back down this season. So I would expect something like what you see above for him, with maybe a little bit less stolen bases in 2017. And a quick note, if you want to meet up with fellow fantasy sports addicts, go to fantasysportsaddicts.com and join us. Tom and Ryan run it over at Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous, and they have their own YouTube channel too, so check them out. We'll always be mocking in the off season, and we love hanging out with people, talking fantasy baseball. So check them out, fantasysportsaddicts.com. For Fantasy 8, I'm Andrew. Thanks for watching.